Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Today's episode is a little different. It's not an audio podcast, it's a video podcast, and we have a special guest. Her name is Evdoxia. I have read her articles and I've been part of her Facebook group. She's an amazing lady. I am sure you're going to get a lot of knowledge from this episode. And I'm really sorry for the connection troubles. Now, I really hope you will still be able to hear the audio properly. Anyway, I feel you find this episode knowledgeable, useful, and if you have any questions, please keep them coming. And let's jump right into the episode. Okay, so welcome to our channel again. And as I told you, we have a special guest today. Her name is Evdoxia, and she is wholesome life coach, right? And so, first of all, Evdoxia, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do. And also, I would specifically wanted to ask you, your coaching is Aiki coaching, right? So why did you choose this name and what is the meaning of Aiki?
Thank you very much for the invitation, Parul. I'm honored to be on your channel. Well, I'm a life coach, a hypnotherapist, a Reiki master, and a channel between people and their higher selves. My journey is like a long journey. It started with my own healing when I was a lawyer. Anyway, in order to heal myself, I had to leave a lot of things behind and choose a different path, the path I'm on now, which is also aligned to my life purpose, I think. And well, with working with these methods that I mentioned, the life coaching, the hypnotherapy, the Reiki, and the channeling, I developed my own method, healing method, which is called Aiki coaching. And Aiki, well, you want to know what it means. I stands for intelligent, and ki is the Japanese word for life force energy. It's in other, like in the Chinese culture, it's the chi. In the Indian culture, I think it's the prana. It's life energy. I just chose the name ki because of my training in Reiki. So it's intelligent, vital energy. And I chose this name, Aiki, because all of us have this vital energy in us. It's running through our veins, our body, like we're energy. And this energy is intelligent, is the most intelligent and wise uh, being on the planet or in the. And with what I do, I just bring people in contact with their own intelligent, vital energy, because all the answers lie within. So this is what IKEY stands for: intelligent, vital energy. And my method helps people be in touch with it and be guided from within, from their own intelligent life energy.
Okay, that actually makes sense. And all the methods I think that you have developed, they somehow are aimed at enhancing the well-being of a person, right? So I want you to actually, because I think people have different idea of what well-being actually is. So please tell us a little bit about that. Like what is your definition of well-being? And also you said that it's like even in Indian culture, we have this concept of prana, right? And we say that, it resides within. So it has definitely, I believe it has definitely something to do with your self awareness, right? So, first, tell us a little bit about this well being. What is the definition of well being and how it is related to self awareness, if it is related to self awareness?
Your questions are very interesting and challenging, Parul, and thank you for asking them and giving me the chance to share what I think well-being is and what its relation with self-awareness is. So my definition of well-being is having inner peace. If we don't have inner peace, nothing else matters. So well-being to me equals inner peace. You were right to say that many people give a different meaning to well-being. For some, it could be wealth. For others, it could be health. It could be fitness. It could be nutrition. But for me, it's inner peace. It is inner peace because without it, we can't be balanced. Not a balanced life, and we cannot achieve health. We cannot achieve wealth if we don't have inner peace. Um, Most of my clients, they come with a specific problem and they want to, let's say, improve their relationships. But if there's something else bothering them, then they don't have inner peace. They can focus on what they want to achieve. So my first goal is to help them achieve well-being, which is inner peace, and then they can work on the other issues. And you asked me about self-awareness. Self-awareness is pivotal for well-being because I know that even in my culture, they say ignorance is bliss. But unfortunately, this is not the case because some people are so superficial. They lead their lives superficially. Nothing bothers them or nothing seems to bother them as long as everything goes the way they want it to go or the way they imagine it should go. So when something doesn't go according to their plan, then like they're thrown completely off balance and they lose their well-being and their inner peace. But the thing is, self-awareness is pivotal because we need to be aware of a lot of things, self-aware, in order to achieve inner peace. Inner peace can only be achieved if we're impervious is happening on the outside. We cannot control the outside world. So if something happens in the outside world and this affects how we feel inside, we do not have inner peace. How can we stop being affected by what is going on outside? We have to learn ourselves, be self-aware. We have to know who we are, why we react the way we do, what are our pain points, what are our traumas, what we need to work on as people, because we cannot change the world. We can only change ourselves. So by being self-aware, we can change ourselves and then achieve inner peace, which equals well-being.
Okay, I really loved your answer. And also, even I feel like, especially after pandemic, I think control is just an illusion, you know? So we really need to have that balance because we think like we are controlling everything, but pandemic has already proven us all wrong. And another thing
You
that I yes. So another thing that I wanted to ask you is that as you said that inner peace is definitely necessary, and I think if we don't have inner peace, we can somehow find we can feel it. At least this has been for me. I don't know about others, but if you don't have inner peace, you find your vital energy, your prana, it's like you feel like there is some sort of imbalance in your life, and then it shows up in your body also. So I have seen that people who are suffering from any kind of illness, I have seen that there is some sort of imbalance in their life as well. So so my next question is, why is the root of any pain or illness imbalance of life force? So if life force, basically their energy is
uh,
imbalanced, it leads to
mhm.
some sort of pain or illness. Yeah.
I love your observations. You're definitely right. Imbalance or lack of inner peace or imbalance in the I key can lead to illness, disease, and actually, um, none of the aspects of our lives can go well if our I key does not flow or if we're not in contact with it. So inner peace and life force energy, intelligent life force energy. If we're not in touch with our force energy, and if we're not guided by it, then we cannot make the right decisions. Then there's imbalance. And then when there's imbalance, there's illness, and among other things, among other difficulties in life. And one of the reasons is because when we are not in touch with our I key, we can't see clearly. We don't have discernment. We don't have clarity. So we cannot make the right decisions. We cannot, like the simplest thing, we cannot eat properly. We cannot sleep properly. We cannot control our bodily functions. We cannot control our reactions. And sometimes, okay, don't get me wrong, there are some times when we can't control our reactions. I mean, we're human beings. We're not perfect. But if our key is balanced and we're in contact with it, then we make the right decisions, which lead to health, which lead to wealth, which lead to good and balanced relationships with ourselves and others. And I would like to point out something that's very, very important when it comes to balance and well-being, and what our intelligent key life energy helps us do is achieve a balance between what we think, how we feel, and how we act. Because these three things, like feelings, thoughts, and actions, must be aligned. If they're not, there's imbalance. And they can only be aligned if our vital force, like, is present, is with us, guides us.
Okay. Right. And I think this is also the concept of law of attraction as well, that what you think, what you feel, and how you act, it should be in alignment. Then only you can create the life that you really want to create. So another interesting thing that I read about your services uh, is that you had mentioned this Enneagram, right? So I was aware of other personality
Mm-hmm.
types like MBTI and all of that. I heard people speak about Enneagram, but I didn't really have an idea. So can you please explain what Enneagram is and how can one use it for personal development?
The Enneagram is an amazing tool that I'll share something personal now that really helped me in my marriage. I came across the Enneagram in 2015. A friend of mine mentioned it, and I hadn't heard of it. And like, I'm very curious, and I love knowledge, but mostly I love wisdom, like knowledge that I can use to improve my life and improve other people's lives. So I started inquiring into the Enneagram, and finally I got some trainings on it, and I keep reading books, and I'm searching for new trainings. The Enneagram is a personality, like a personality. It's actually, the Enneagram talks about 9 basic personality types. And when we identify our own type, we can actually shed light on our blind spots, because sometimes we don't see what's wrong with us, and we I don't know, put the blame on others, whereas like we're doing something but we're not aware of it. And the Enneagram really sheds light on the blind spots of each personality. It started the tradition of the Enneagram says that it started in ancient Greek, by Pythagoras, in ancient Greece, by Pythagoras, who was a mathematician. He had a school in Sicily. And then, well, that's the tradition, that's the story that I learned. The Sufi found out about it, and they kept the tradition of the Enneagram alive. And then in South America, Naranjo, he found out about it, and Gurdjieff before that. Anyway, and they kept the tradition of the Enneagram alive. So many people will say that there are billions of people. How can we divide them into only 9 personality types? It's not as simple as that, because there are subtypes, their wings, their arrows. It's a really fascinating method of self-awareness, self-discovery, and it also improves our relationships with others, because we learn how we function, we learn how they function, we find about our language, we learn about other people's language. Oh, are you still there?
Yes, yes.
Oh, oh, because okay. How it helped me and my husband? Well, we were speaking a different language because I mean we both spoke our mother Greek, but I talked to him and he didn't seem to understand what I was saying. So there were many misunderstandings. And he talked to me and I didn't understand what he was saying, or I thought that he was yelling at me without yelling. And thanks to the Enneagram, I realized how each type expresses themselves. Like we express ourselves differently. We pay attention to different things. Sometimes something that is said can escape us because it's so far away from our personality type. I'll just be very brief and I'll tell you the 9 basic personality types. We have the reformer, who's also like kind of a perfectionist. The reformer wants everything to work right and be perfect and has a system of values. And the second type is the helper. I'm a helper. It's like about helping other people. And sometimes forgetting ourselves in order to help other people and be there for them. We have the achiever, who's really work-oriented and goals-oriented, but sometimes he can forget his feelings or other people's feelings. We have the individualist, who's very romantic, but some can also be dramatic or like a drama queen. We have the investigator, who can really investigate and put things into boxes and like really delve into some subjects and know things very well, but has the tendency to become a hermit and not share his knowledge. We have the loyalist, who is all about being together and being faithful and loyal, but at the same time, always doubts and always suspicious of others. We have the enthusiast, who's the life of the party, always positive, but sometimes stays too much on the surface. We have the challenger, a very strong type, that's the leader kind of type, but who can come across as cruel sometimes. And the peacemaker, who really tries to compromise things and people and situations, but sometimes gets lost and is out of touch with his own or her own opinions. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. What is fascinating is that there's no type that's better than the other. Uh, each type has a virtue and a passion. Like virtue is something good and a passion is something bad. For example, I'll talk about me. Like my virtue is the giving part, the helping, like being there for others. But my passion, they say, is arrogance, that I can feel superior to others just because I offer my help. The challenger, for example, they are very just and fair leaders, but their thirst for power can make them cruel. And it's fascinating. You learn. It's a great tool for, and I use it on myself in my personal relationships. But I also use it when I work with clients. It's very important when I understand their type. It's much easier for me to help them. It's much easier for me to ask the right questions using the right language and make them think. I would never tell someone, you're a challenger and this is what you must do. No, but I know what questions to ask to help them realize, to help them be in touch with their own key.
I think I'm actually going to look more into Enneagram. I was aware of MBTI, and it actually helped me also, because even in our relationship, my relationship with my husband, we realized that our love language was very different. So understanding
Mm-hmm.
my personality type, MBTI, and his personality type, it really helped us both, and it actually made our bond very strong also. So everybody, like as you said, that we all have our virtues and passions. I'm also curious about the soul purpose. So everybody has their virtues, their passions, but I am curious to know, is everyone born with a life purpose as well? And if yes, then why isn't everyone seeking it?
This question put a smile on my face. It's such a wonderful question, and I haven't been asked this question before. So my answer to your question would be, according to my experience or my belief systems, yes, everybody has a life purpose. But some people's life purpose is not grandiose. Not everybody has come here to save the world. Some people have just come here, not just, I'm sorry, I'm taking this back. Some people have come here to be parents and bring wonderful kids, like the new generation of people to humanity. Some others have come to make an invention. Some others have come just to live, just to experience life. Others have come to, everybody has come to learn lessons. Uh, uh, and not everybody looks for their life purpose, either because they're superficial or because they're so aligned with their life purpose that they don't need to look for it. Like usually people who look for their life purpose are people who have not found it yet, and they feel that something's off. They don't feel aligned with their key. Or if they don't look for it, either, as I said, they found it, or they're too superficial to look for it and too absorbed in the material world, too absorbed, like too much into, like so much into the autopilot mode that they can't see outside that.
Okay. So, yeah, it actually made sense. And like you said, that, like even I believe that we all have different life purposes, and people usually try to, the mold that uh, basis sort of stereotyping. So if somebody, for example, I have a few friends who I'm not in contact with, right? Because I feel like they had to go a certain way and I had to go a certain way. But sometimes society makes us feel like you are meant to do this thing only, right? So, for example, they have, certain rules and regulations for girls that, okay, you have to, get education and get married and, have kids and all of that. And for boys, they have different type of rules. But as you said, that not everybody is meant to do the same thing, right? And I think if somebody is not living their life purpose, their well-being is also affected by it. So my next question is well-being related to one's life purpose? I mean, like, do you think that they support each other? If somebody is following their life purpose, I have seen people who are following their life purpose. They have, like, they have good lives. They are healthy and they feel happy in their life. But somebody who is disconnected from their higher self, from their self purpose, they are in the search mode, or very grumpy or frustrated and all of that. So yeah, is well-being related to one's soul purpose?
Once again, Parul, you're spot on. Of course it is. And I'll use my own example. Before I became a life coach, anyway, I'll call myself a healer and a teacher. I was a lawyer, and I had prestige, like everybody, you know what it's like. Lawyers are very respected, doctors are very respected. So I had done what was expected of me from my family, from society. I was a good student, all that, but I was stressed all the time, and I had health problems. So despite my success, because I was successful, my life didn't feel right. My professional life didn't feel right. And I have written about it, but I'll be very, very brief, because in my quest to resolve my health problems, to find solutions, I visited many people. Like when Western medicine failed me, I started looking into alternative healing methods. So I visited this lady, this energy healer, and she told me that I was sick because I was not aligned with my life purpose. And when I asked, okay, what is my life purpose? And she said, well, to be like me, to do what I do. I almost laughed. Like I was thinking, is she crazy? Like I'll stop being a lawyer to become this cuckoo lady who sees our energy and clears our aura and whatever. But 5 years down the line, I mean, 5 years down the line, I left everything behind and I did become a healer. And she was right. And it's not that I don't have any health problems at all, because I also carry trauma from my childhood, but I'm much happier. I'm like much happier with myself, much happier with my life, much happier with my professional life, and with fewer health problems, like most of the times, no health problems. So finding your life purpose, or if you're not aligned with your finding it, is pivotal for your well-being. And I'm the example of that.
Okay, right. And next question is like a little bit about spiritual awakening. And mostly when we talk about these subjects, people think like, it is sort of like, some lightning is gonna hit you and you're gonna have spiritual awakening. But I think it's not like that. It is a gradual process. You go through things, you question them, and you understand the patterns and everything. And one thing I find, I actually initially I found it very intriguing, was the role of diet. Because I believe if I have to call it that way, like when I was going through my own spiritual awakening, I found that food that I used to love, I started having, like, I felt strong aversion towards them. So I'm curious to know, like, is like, do you think there is like a diet plays specific role in maintaining vital energy, specifically if you are
Uh,
spiritually awakened or you're
mhm.
going through the process?
uh, I think that what we eat is definitely connected with our well-being. Without well-being, which is inner peace, we cannot start the process of awakening. We cannot awaken if we're surrounded only by the materialistic and the stresses of like the life on the autopilot and other people's expectations. So diet plays a very important role uh, in our spiritual awakening. The thing is, from my experience, there's no such thing as a one diet fits all spiritual awakening people. So definitely the right diet can help, because we live in a physical body. In order for our brain to function, I know that we don't need the brain for the spiritual awakening, but we need overall balance. Things need to, like the feelings need to be balanced, the thoughts need to be balanced, the actions need to be balanced. If we don't eat properly, the body doesn't function properly. And maybe some people have reached such levels of awakening or enlightenment that they don't need food and they can feed through the air or the sun of the energy of the sun. I believe that, but for most of us, this is not possible. So we need to eliminate processed food, eliminate everything that, like, processed food is very, very bad. I know that many people will hate me for that, but sugar is very, very bad for us. Like we should eliminate sugar as well. But when it comes to, for example, being a vegetarian or a vegan or eating meat or not eating meat, we need to take care of our bodies. And some people's bodies need protein, animal protein. Like they cannot function properly. So what can I do with my awakening if my body doesn't help me fulfill my life purpose? Because our life purpose is always connected to what we do on earth. If our life purpose wasn't connected to earthly life, we wouldn't have incarnated. So I think that you're absolutely right. There is a proper diet, but it's different for each and one of us. Like some people might need more fats, some people might need more protein, but nobody needs processed food or sugar. That's for sure.
Awesome. Okay. And another question, as I mentioned that you are also an in no, yeah, you mentioned that you are an INFJ, right? And I am also an INFJ.
Yes.
So introverts usually need more time, and I think our meeting will end in 10 minutes. So they require more time, right? More me time. And I have seen the same pattern with awakened beings also, like people who are on this quest or who are already awakened. They like to spend more and more time alone. So what is your take on that? Like is it necessary, or because there are a lot of people who question, like maybe they are, like you said, others think that maybe you are showing your arrogance or something. So what is your take on that, that you are being yeah.
Yes. People who are in the process of awakening, in my opinion, do need alone time. They need alone time for introspection and integration. But at the same time, they need to conserve their energy because the changes happening to them during this awakening process need a lot of energy. They can be also felt physically, like when you start awakening, there are physical manifestations. There can be physical manifestations of awakening. So we need to conserve energy. And sometimes, because when we start awakening, we're more perceptive, like we perceive a lot of things that we didn't, and everything is processed through our brain. So a lot more information comes into our brain, and we need more time to process it. For some people, for me, it was like going crazy. I thought that I was going crazy because I could see so much, I could understand so much and read between the lines and feel other people's energy. And I needed time. I still need time, me time, to recharge my batteries, to process, and to go forward. With awakening opens up also this sensitivity to other people's energies, and we become like sponges that absorb. We can learn how to moderate that, or we can learn how to, um, I don't like the word protect, because if I use protect, it means that there's a danger, but I'll use it like shield. Okay, that's like shield ourselves from other people's energies. But in any case, we need time to ourselves. It's necessary. We need time, alone time.
Okay, and I think at the same time, uh, your friend circle also changes somehow, because you're not able to do the same things that you used to do before, right?
This is absolutely true. Awakening is a lonely path. And I've noticed that the more awakened you are, your circle of friends grows narrower and narrower. People take different paths, and you don't feel like wasting your time. You really want to spend meaningful time with people, and you seek a true connection, which you can only get with fewer people the more you walk into this path. So if like it's like a pyramid, like it has a wide base, but as you go further up, the surface becomes smaller and smaller. So you are kind of obliged to leave people behind, but sometimes you're left behind by other people, because sometimes your awakening is not perceived well, or is not welcomed by other people who want you to be the same way you were before. Some people don't like the new you. So this circle of friends growing narrower doesn't only have to do with us who are in the process of awakening, choosing to be with fewer people. Some others reject us. They don't like the new us.
And I think this knowledge is actually going to help a lot of people who are going through, their spiritual awakening and maybe feeling alone in the process. So they will realize after watching this video that they are not alone, and yeah, everybody goes through it, during the process. And so we have only 4 minutes, And as you said, and I also read on your website that you help people, heal and also connect with their soul purpose. So I want you to explain to our viewers, our audience, what you do and how they can reach out to you if they ever want to.
Oh, I'm sorry, the connection was not good, so I didn't hear what you said. Oh, I can't hear you.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not really sure if it is continuing or.
And now we have 3 minutes and we're recording.
Okay, great.
I didn't hear what you said after my answer when I talked
Right.
about the circle of friends getting
Yes, yes.
smaller.
Yeah. I just want you to tell our audience, our viewers, what you do and how they can reach out to you, because you also help others, I think, connect with their soul purpose. So if somebody wants to connect with their soul purpose, how they can reach out to you and how you can help them in the process.
Well, they can reach me through my website, or they can join my Facebook communities. My website is www.i-ki coaching, like IKey coaching, I-key coaching, one word.com. They can subscribe to my newsletter and read my blog posts every week. They could book a complimentary session on the book now, on the booking page of my website, or they can join my Facebook communities, the Whole Sensitive Women, that's only for women, by Evdoxia Stoupi, or the Inner Peace Seekers Society for both men and women. If they decide to reach out to me, I will help them be connected with who they truly are by asking questions. I don't like giving advice because we're each unique, and all the answers rest within us. So I will help them be in touch with their own intelligent, vital energy and get all the answers from within by using whichever method seems appropriate at the time.
Awesome. And I will also put the link to your Facebook groups and your website in the description link, in the description
Thank
below.
you very much.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you
So
very much, Parul, for
thank
the
you so much.
invitation. It was wonderful talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Same here.
Thank you.
It's all my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.